And welcome back to Let's Play Psychonauts. Last time, we completed Mia Vodello's levitation course, so now we are permitted to use the levitation power anywhere we want, and this allows us to collect all the collectibles, well, most of the collectibles, in Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, like this card right here that I missed in the last video because I have poor vision when I'm not really paying attention. Anyway, the bulk of the first portion of this video is going to be dedicated to rounding out Whispering Rock collectibles, mostly side cards, challenge markers, and the occasional scavenger hunt item that I can grab. We're not going to be able to get every scavenger hunt item at this point, and we could get most of the collectibles at the dock area, but it's just kind of inconvenient to do so at the moment. So we're going to save that for later. One thing I do want to...
Okay.
One thing I do...
TV. Hacky sack.
Yes, hacky sack.
Oh no! They're all brainless!
Hi, Raz.
Vernon, you're okay!
Yeah, we're great. Me and my pals Kitty and Frankie are just hanging out telling stories and watching the boob tube.
TV.
Vernon, look at them! They're zombies!
It did seem kind of weird when they let me get this close to them, and then they didn't mind when I talked all through the show. Kitty even agreed to go on a date with me, more or less. We're gonna play hacky sack.
Keep an eye on them, Vernon. I'm gonna go figure out what's causing this.
Roger that, Raz. Did you ladies know one of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War was fought on the shore of this very lake? Yup, it's true. It happened back when this place was still an Indian summer camp and burial ground. A group of Union soldiers got separated from their regiment. Night was falling, and they were cold and scared of Dracula. Boo. I'm kidding. They were just terrified of getting shot. Though I'm sure any of them with any sense were afraid of Dracula too. They stumbled across an old building. You could still see it on the far side of the lake, so they decided to spend the night there. Little did they know, it was an abandoned Indian insane asylum built on a caveman burial ground. Yup. Little did they also know that a cursed fish lived in the asylum, and that he was an escaped lunatic, but from a different asylum. So even though he was actually living in an asylum, he was still counted as escaped. And what was his curse, you ask? Where his gills should have been, he had hooks. Yup, and where one of the hooks should have been, he had a lung. Yep, a lung, and instead of being about 14 inches long, he was 10 feet tall. But that wasn't the scariest thing. The scariest thing, the absolute scariest thing, and the thing that still makes the old-timers' blood turn to ice, and vice versa, is the part I said first about how he had hooks for gills. Oh, brr. Anybody need a hug? Anybody? No? Okay then, anybody mind if I tell that story again? Speak up now if you don't want to hear it again. Here we go. Did you ladies...
Vernon, you keep watch over these guys while I try to find their brains. I'm going back to Sasha's lab now to find out what's going on.
Take your time. I've got a lot of really good stories. Yup, it's true. It happened back when...
Oof.
Oh,
Toby.
now, Raz, you
TV.
made my place.
Yeah.
Where
Good
was
idea.
I, girls?
You rest
Oh,
here while I
well,
find your
Guess I
brains.
have to start over at the beginning.
Hey, what's on?
Did you ladies know one of the bloodiest battles of
guys
the
are
Civil
better off
War
without their
was
brains.
fought on the
They
shore
seem so
of
nice
this
now.
very lake? Yup, it's true. It happened back when this place was still an
Makes me
Indian
ow,
summer camp
giddy.
and burial ground.
I'll never. Drum solo. Woo! You heard the man. So very witty.
Alright, that was quite a bit to take in there, especially from Vernon. Not exactly how I was expecting to start the video. What I was trying to say is I just want to check out the stuff with Dogen in the lounge, since Mia told us that he was there. And we found out that tragically, or perhaps not tragically, Kitty and Frankie have also been debrained, and Vernon is just kind of himself. Anyways, next order of business is to head to the reception area, so here is where we will be spending the bulk of our time collecting stuff that we passed over, quite a few side cards to get, and a ton of scavenger hunt items that we can get now that we have access to levitation. Okay, I can think of at least 2 offhand that we can get. I forget if I already got the other 2. Yeah, the one was the pipe and the other was the, oh, what was it? It was in the beehive. It doesn't really matter. I got the one from the beehive. We'll say it was a beehive, even though I know it wasn't. Anyways, there are tons of cards in the reception area. The highest number of cards in any location in Whispering Rock. There is 21 cards, I believe, altogether. Let's just take a look at that. Yep, 21. I was pretty sure of that number, but always helps to double check in case you have the potential to make a fool of yourself, which I am quite prone to if you've followed my videos in the past. So here is our side challenge marker. Honestly, I probably could have gotten this earlier in the game, but whatever, I didn't really need it. And we have a whole bunch of cards to collect that are just so easy to collect with our new handy-dandy levitation power. Always going to take the time to hype up the levitation power. Next thing we can get is this egg over here. Just levitate onto that and grab that. We can drop onto this rail here to grind across and get the card here. There are a bunch of cards in this mine shaft here, so let's make our way across here. And I want to reverse where I'm going. Keep going over this way for another card right here. Here is a Psychic Bear. We're just going to ignore him. Grab another card. We're just getting so many. Like I said, there is just a ton to get in this area. If you need to get some ranks really quick and you got some arrowheads to spare on Psycores, this is a good place to go for it. Alright, I was pretty sure there was another Psy card up here that I was just forgetting to get because I'm careless like this. One thing that's annoying about this game is definitely the rail system. You kind of snap to rails a little too easily, so you can end up grinding a lot when you don't want to. We got enough Psy cards to make another Psy challenge marker, which is probably something we'll be doing in the near future. I will need to get a few deep arrowhead deposits in order to afford enough Psy cards, or not cards, cores, in order to craft all these cards together. I'm already forgetting that we got another scavenger hunt item, which was of course the egg, so let's take a look at that real quick. The Condor Egg. The rare and beautiful Condor Egg. Condors were once plentiful in this valley, but their numbers have been decimated by modern hazards such as power lines, telekinetic grizzly bears, and poachers stealing the eggs out of their nests. Well, you know, we can only be blamed for 2 out of 3 of those, and 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. Anyways, more cards to collect here, but also at the top of this tree is the last scavenger hunt item for this area, the dinosaur bone. So let's just take a good look at that. Enormous, carnivorous, and physically mutated. One thing for sure you can say about the valley's prehistoric inhabitants: we are glad they're dead. Nobody wants to see levitating velociraptors. Scary. Well, we might have just found some leaked information for the next Jurassic World movie. Keep your eyes peeled for any news on that, and see if there are telekinetic velociraptors in it. Another card over here, and another one right over there, so let's just make our way over. You do want to be careful about levitating on slopes. If you're going in the wrong direction, naturally it'll be pretty hard to get momentum going uphill. Raz isn't exactly Sisyphus, and honestly, Sisyphus is not exactly having a good time pushing that boulder either, so try to avoid replicating his antics. Alright, heading up here, we got another card. How are we doing on cards here? Let's see. We've got 21 out of 21. That was a lot quicker. I was expecting to be here for a while, like, just stuck on the one card that I couldn't get. Heading into the GPC and Wilderness area, let's see who else is moved over to this direction. Hey, it's Nils and Chloe. Kind of an odd couple here. Let's see what they're up to.
You know, Chloe, for a chick whose face I can't see because she's always wearing a helmet, you're pretty cute. I'm not human, Earth primate. But you are the girl model of whatever it is you are, right? Affirmative. At this point, that's totally close enough.
Man, what smells like butt? Oh, hey, Nils. How about you and your butt and its odor take a hike before I puke?
But
It'd be a real shame if you had to leave your butt here because it was anchored to my foot. Now beat it! Hi, Chloe. How's it, I mean, you know, what's up and stuff?
Bobby, we need to work on you a little.
Oh, an even stranger couple has walked on by. Wonder where Nils has scampered off to. He seemed pretty defeated there. You know what? I will, once we've finished up our business here, I will look around just to see if he has moved to a different location in the camp. Heading over here, as you can see, Benny is getting some personal time with Mikhail and Maloof. Let's see how their bonding is going.
Let me go!
What to do with small bully assistant?
Geez, I don't know. Could you put him in that deadly Nelson you were talking about?
Could. On such tiny opponent, all blood might drain out ear holes.
Ah! Shut up, Benny!
On other hand, blood from constricted trunk could rush to tongue.
And?
Tongue swells, pops. Most blood drains back down throat.
Interesting.
Less mess that way. Mouth stuffed with giant tongue can't scream. So quieter.
Shut up, Benny! You have something less drastic?
Could use half Deadly Nelson.
What's that?
Like Deadly Nelson, but less dying.
How much less?
Half.
What happens the other half of the time?
Opponent leaves. Spends the rest of short life praying for death.
Hey! Can you hear me down there? Maloof?
Shut up, Benny!
Seriously, Maloof, I apologize. Call off your goon, and I'll never bother you again. Ever!
The thing is, Benny, you're never gonna bother me again either way. So you're gonna have to offer something a lot better than that.
Like what?
Any ideas, Mikhail?
Know anything about giant hairless bear?
No.
Out of ideas. Preparing Nelson.
But wait! Maybe. Yeah, maybe I did see something like that. Give me a minute to think.
You ready to talk, Benny?
Hold on. It'll come to me.
Well, it seems like karma has hit Benny in the most unfortunate way. Wonder if we can, let's see if we can't get a lock-on going on to Benny from here, just to make his life a little bit more miserable. Does not look like... Oh, wait, yes!
My ears are burning. Kenny must be talking about me.
Okay, hey, Mikhail.
You're not going to, kill Benny, are you?
Difficult to say.
Well, that's good enough for me. How about you, Maloof?
Hey, you guys aren't going around taking people's brains out, are you?
Not yet, but, maybe we should do some market research on that and see if there's a demand for that service.
Okay, put that into your journal, Raz. Be wary of Maloof. I doubt he has anything to do with the current problems facing the camp, but definitely does not seem like that kid's future is on the up and up. Anyway, with that all taken care of, let's start making our way through the GPC to collect the rest of the items that we have missed here. I believe we've gotten everything over here, so I'm just coming here to see if Bobby and Chloe might have moved up here, which it does not look to be the case, so let's get over to all the stuff that is over by the actual domes and see if we can't get some of those. Now, with our levitation power, we can use the increased jump height to get into a ton of places that we previously could not. We just have so much more lift now. We can easily get onto this dome in a single bound. We can make our way onto this tree branch over here and quickly go into a tightrope walk. And let's just make our way backwards, get that other card that's right over here. Be careful, some of these branches can cause you to break into a grind, which can be a little unfortunate for your purposes, but we should be able to make it just fine. Okay, was a little bit off on that one. As you can see, as you can hear rather, the bear is over there. He can see me, he's angry, but he's not going to get anything going. Alright, let's make our way up to this one again. And let me see here. I believe we want to jump up onto here, climb our way up, and we will get a... we get to the top. A Psy Challenge marker. Very nice. How much more? Ooh, hey! Psy Power Upgrade earned. Chain Blast. Your Psy Blast will bounce from one enemy to the next, damaging up to 3 nearby enemies at once. Note that these Chain Blasts do not suffer from diminishing damage, so it's essentially hitting 3 enemies for the price of 1 Psy Blast for all the damage that would entail if you were to just target them individually. Very, very nice. Huge damage upgrade for Raz. Lets him take out things much more easily. Alright, we got 2 more cards to get. I do know, yes, we can see over there that there's an item that we need to get. That is another scavenger hunt item. Let's just jump around with our levitation power, see if we can't find a good spot to get up. I believe I see another card over here. I do, but wasn't quite lined up properly to get it, so do have to be a bit more mindful about how I move. Oh dear. Yeah, the physics can sometimes go a bit wild on the levitation orb. Alright, make our way up here. Let's just slowly but surely get our way up to this. We can use levitation to climb onto those vines right here. Climb onto those vines, and then grab this telescope right here, the pirate scope. Alright, what's the pirate scope? Or what's the pirate scope have to say? Telescopes like this were once popular among area pirates until they learned that they could see farther by using clairvoyance on bird feathers. Interesting. We'll have to keep that in mind for later, if we ever learn clairvoyance. And, conveniently, I just happened to see the last card here, so that is all the cards in the GPC and Wilderness area. So, we've basically gotten every collectible that we are currently capable of getting in Whispering Rock. There's one more scavenger hunt item that we can get in this area, but we need a power that we don't have yet to collect it. I'm going to do a quick sweep around the camp area just to see if Nils, Chloe, and Bobby have moved to anywhere else, so I'll be right back.
That's weird. Those guys just left all their stuff out here. Wonder what happened to them.
Just a little bit of dialogue there that I didn't get initially, which would clue us in that something happened to Kitty and Frankie. Alright, continuing my search. Alright, so it looks like nothing has really changed. I did notice that Bobby moved back to his area on the dock, so he's still blocking that off, still projecting an invisible wall that makes it difficult to platform around that area, though it's not impossible to get behind Bobby by taking very specific jumps into that area. We're not going to worry about that at the moment, though, because we'll be able to get those collectibles a lot more easily a little bit later. Anyways, let's talk to Agent 9 and let him know that we are certified levitators.
Okay, I'm a certified levitator now. Ready to roll.
I've been running some tests. It seems that the sensitive circuitry of the Brain Tumbler is picking up too much psychic interference to be safe. The thoughts of some other entity are interlacing with yours at a dangerous level, which explains many of the strange things you've seen. I must call off the experiments until we know more.
Sasha, there's no time. I think my vision about Dogen came true. I'm worried it's gonna happen to the others if we don't get to the bottom of this quick.
But we don't know where the foreign projections are coming from yet.
Is there a faster way to find out than sending me in there to investigate?
Yeesh, it only took a little bit of arm twisting to get Sasha to go along with that. You're an expert negotiator, Raz. Anyways, not much has changed in the collective unconsciousness, though as you can see, there is a new door open for us. We can return to Mia's dance party if we so desire. If only we could return to basic braining so we could get the collectibles there, but looks like that door is still closed to us at the moment. Do have to wonder what all these other doors lead to as well. Regardless, our main point to get to is the Brain Tumbler Experiment. As you can see, we have completed 2 of the collectibles for this area, with only 2 more left to grab. These cobwebs, which I know where the one of them is, or the last one is, and the figments, which I am going to be collecting as we make our way through this level, though I'm not going to show you the painful details. Alright, so it looks like the level is starting us off at the midpoint, which is convenient, because this puts us right by the first piece of meat that actually required levitation to get around. As you can see, this allows us to jump up and grab some figments real quick, as well as leads to another mental cobweb, so we got that taken care of. Now, the next thing we need to address is the figments. There are 7 figments left for us to get. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details of me searching for these, because I don't exactly remember where they are, so instead, I'm just going to supercut to when I find them, and hopefully I can guide you to the relative position of where I am. Before I do that, though, last time we were here, we did not check out the Primal Memories reel that we unlocked, so why don't we give that a good look? Looking at this one, we've got concept art for Dogen and his tinfoil skull cap. Protects the world from him. Let's see, we've got that strange dentist guy. And the Nightmare Tower interior. Dogen looking pretty horrified in his amogus body. Let's see. A bathtub? Actually, I don't think this is in... Oh, no, wait, this is actually where we just dropped through. Okay. It makes it seem more important than it actually is. Nightmare Asylum, though. That's interesting to take note of. Looks like we've got a storyboard for one of the cutscenes, and what is this? Well, I'm sure that's nothing. Anyways, let me look for the collectible, or the figments now. Alright, so here we are back towards the start of the level, just after we blasted the monster, and there are some figments in a bit of a platforming segment that I passed over, and I'm continuing to pass over as I fail to grab the swing bar. So let's grab that swing bar. We've also got these vines to use as a makeshift trapeze, get onto this pole here, and hopefully we can maneuver along. I just want to make sure I'm lined up properly. Yep, whoop, nope, I overshot it. Alright, I realized I could just levitate over it. Why? Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You thought I was joking when I said those briars were annoying to deal with. They are quite annoying. I hate bumping into them. Anyways, if you were to do more platforming here, you can make your way up to that upper area where I believe we've found some emotional baggage on the first clear of the level there. But yeah, that's just something to note of there as an alternate route you could have taken through the level. Not that it really leads to a different spot. Anyway, showing off the chain side blast here. As you can see, it's rocketing between the various sensors that are coming towards us, taking them all out extra efficiently. Let me get to the next figment. I believe I know where the next one is, actually. Here we... Oh, that was actually really quick. No need for a cut here, because it was one of these... No! Okay, so much for not needing a cut. There we go. I hate moving figments so much. Okay, we got 3 more to collect. Ah, the game was trying to trick me. There was a second one just behind us. Okay, just 2 more to collect. Alright, I just saw it. There's another moving figment at the base of the tower. Come on, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. There we go. Okay, for once the collision detection on these actually worked in my favor. Anyways, the last figment is at that meat that we could have levitated at, so let's just follow the bunny back up to the top of the Nightmare Tower, and let's whack that meat, beat the meat. Okay, maybe not that. And let's levitate up and get our last figment. All figments collected. So rarely do people who play this game actually see that message. No! I am in rare form today.
Why are you screaming? All right, I remember. Oh, good boy. There's that pesky brain. Here's a tissue. Now, don't you feel better, my dear lad?
TV?
Of course! Right here! And this bad tooth, we'll just drop it in the old garbage chute. Now don't chew solid foods for 6 hours! Lily!
TV?
Who knew it was that easy to lose your brain? I guess this is why you should always cover your mouth when you sneeze, as best you can. Dogen, got anything to say?
TV?
Well, we'll figure something out to help him. Now, let's see. Well, we do need to find out where that brain is going, so guess there's nothing left to do but search the hatch. And pretty quickly we find ourselves thrust into our second boss fight of the game, the Blueprint Brain Tank. This was what was in the Primal Memories earlier. Anyways, what we need to do is we need to get this guy to fire attacks at us to hopefully make himself vulnerable when he tries to charge at us. I was a little bit off with the attack there when he made himself vulnerable. Just get behind a rock when he locks on, and when he gets frustrated after chucking the confusion grenade, ideally he'll back up and try to charge you. Or he can do it right there.
Man, I am so smart. Soft gelatinous underbelly? Here I come.
The best way to deal damage to the soft gelatinous underbelly is to just run up and do some telekinetic punches at it. Always a good idea to get him... Ooh, yeah. Hits you with a Psy Blast if you're in the lock when it finally finishes. We just want him to start charging. Gets a little confused. And then... Come on, come on. A little bit angry, and just hit him with a quick blast. You can do Psy Blast to the gelatinous underbelly if you want to, but it's not really that much more efficient than just giving him the wax. As you can see, we need to do 4 cycles of this in order to get him finished off. Not exactly the most inspired boss in the game, but it's fine, it's fine. Let him chuck out his grenades there. Those are confusion grenades, and ooh, gotta get a quick... Oh, there we go. Just had to quickly get behind cover there. And let's just, once again, give him another round of telekinetic punches. There we go. One more cycle of this, and we should be good. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Woo. Ooh, that was close. Luckily, we were able to get behind cover just in the nick of time. Watch out for those confusion grenades there. If you do get hit by them, your controls will start to become random, and your powers will also become random, in addition to the visual effects of confusion, making it very hard to tell what you're doing. With that taken care of, we can, once again, just go up, give him our punches, and that is the tank destroyed. But the brain is still an issue. As you can see, the brain wants to defend itself. It'll be sending this laser jump rope around, and it can deal damage to you. It's kind of random, though. Ugh. Yeah, I'm taking a ton of damage all of a sudden. Luckily, when the pillars break, it occasionally drop out mental health for us. This fight can be a little tricky to avoid taking damage in, just because it's really random when that laser is actually going to hurt you and when it isn't going to hurt you. The best way to deal with this fight, I find, is just, you know, throw caution to the wind, run up and start punching the brain. It is immune to Psy Blast. It will just avoid those entirely, so don't even bother trying to hit it with Psy Blast. It's being remarkably evasive. Usually when I do this fight, it gets into that cycle of doing the rapid lasers.
Is this a nightmare? Or a plan? Or both? Wait a minute!
Rasputin, I'm sorry. I had to abort the experiment. Something unbelievably urgent has come up and I must leave immediately.
I know! You'll never believe—
Hold that thought. In a rush. Official Psychonauts business.
Wait! So is this! Official Psychonaut, eh?
You forgot your...
Hey, that white room. I know. It's from Oleander's mind. I think I was in the coach's dream that whole time. Ever since I stepped through the static in the caravan, it felt funny. I knew I wasn't obsessed with meat.
But Maury is. And was stealing psychic brains to arm a fleet of deadly tanks, apparently.
I've got to tell Lily. She's waiting for me down by the boathouse.
Down by the water? Uh-oh. Better hurry.
Now, with that taken care of, nightfall has come to Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp. Quite a few things have changed. Also, if we go around talking to the kids, well, we'll find something has changed about them. But let's see. First thing to note is that we got Sasha's Psycho Portal. So, in theory, we could use this to enter other people's minds. Also, he left the Brain Tumbler unattended. As you can see, we can freely enter the Brain Tumbler. And upon entering the Brain Tumbler, we will find ourselves in the collective unconscious. So we can come around here and check out the levels that we have access to. We could return to Sasha's shooting gallery, but one thing to note is that basic braining has reopened to us. In fact, every level that we've already been to is now available for us to return to if we want to collect things from them. And that is going to be the focus of the rest of this video, but not right away. First order of business is that we actually want to enter the levels because we get some additional dialogue. Plus, there is still a memory vault we have not collected from basic braining, so let's enter basic braining to start with.
Not much to do here except clean up all the cobwebs, collect all the figments, and get any vaults that are left.
And whenever you enter a level you have previously visited, Agent Cruller will pop out of your head to let you know what you have not done yet. So, entering basic braining, well, Coach doesn't know that we're here. I wonder, does he have any kind of handling for this situation?
You You've reached the brain of Coach Oleander. I'm currently occupied with matters in another part of my mind right now. But for those students who'd like to run the course again for extra credit, or for a makeup exam, I'll leave it open. But I won't be here to watch over you, so please, children, be careful. Your minds need everything you learn.
Well, that would almost sound like Coach cares a lot more than he lets on if we didn't know what he really meant by that at this stage of the game. As you can see, we've still got 12 figments to gather here, but that's not why I'm starting with Coach Oleander's basic braining. We want to head on to the canon section of the level, and I'll just meet you at the point where I'll be able to talk about what I wanted to address in this level specifically. Alright, so deeper into Coach Oleander's mind, we are able to collect those mental cobwebs that we could not get before. Additionally, with levitation at our disposal, we can of course do some bits of platforming a little bit more easily than when we tried them previously. So let's just make our way up here, and conveniently, the next mental cobweb that we want to grab is right by the first one, and of course the last one is over there as well. But that's neither here nor there. The second mental cobweb also has the second mental vault behind it, so let's just crack this open. And we end up getting a bit more of an honest memory from Coach Oleander. Sorry, I've been leaving the cursor in the center of the screen. It just pops up and I don't think to move it. But Oleander's shame. As you can see, he seems to be legitimate about his military background, or at least his attempts to, but looks like his short height has prevented him from making the physical of any branch of the military. Heck, he wasn't even allowed in the cooking corps. So yes, Coach Oleander, he is not a real veteran. He is a case of stolen valor. I suppose, given what we've figured out about him, this is none too surprising. Now that that's done, we still have things to collect in this level, but this is...
Man, these things smell terrible. Am I sure I want to do this?
our first opportunity to make use of the smelling salts. If you remember, Maloof gave us these before we entered basic braining. We haven't had a reason to use these up until this point, but you can use them to boot yourself back to the collective unconsciousness or outside the brain tumbler just by taking a quick whiff, and when you're just trying to briefly go through all the different worlds, this is an ideal thing to have, so let's send ourselves back.
Yes, I want to go back to the real world that badly.
Alright, back in the Brain Tumbler area we are. You can just skip cutscenes in this game by pressing the cancel button. Let's go into Sasha's shooting gallery next and see if he's got a message for us.
Rasputin, I'm so glad to see you. What's happened?
Coach Oleander is trying to take over the world with a fleet of psychic death tanks, armed with the stolen brains of my fellow campers. Where are you?
I have no idea. I seem to be asleep or in a trance.
Well, don't worry about it. Ford and I are on the case.
Okay, I'd love to join you, but I think I need to focus on maintaining some level of brain activity.
Ooh, I can help with that. Let me shoot up the place.
Oh, would you like to run the course again?
Yeah, Run the course? But all that sensor overload stuff, that was an accident.
Oh, Raz, I knew you were going to overload that switch. I would have done the same thing at your age. It was all arranged to make you an expert fighter, and it worked. Now, if you'd like to run the course again, just shoot the controller on any given face. To close that face up and open another, shoot any sensor valves you see. Fair enough?
Even the part where the giant sensor had you on the stamp?
Okay, that part got a little out of hand. We won't be seeing him again.
Not much to do here except clean up all the cobwebs, collect all the figments, and get any vaults that are left.
Okay, so Ford doesn't draw attention to any specific thing you haven't collected, he just has a stock message. But yes, as it turns out, the shooting gallery, even the part that looked like it went haywire, well, with the exception of the mega sensor, it was all planned. Anyway, as Sasha said, we can find these switches on the faces of the cube in order to set it to different configurations to get any collectibles we missed, which, for this level, mostly just figments, and of course cobwebs, which we were not able to collect while we were here. But that's not the only level that has a message for us, nor is it the only level where we need to collect everything. We also need to return to Agent Vodella's dance party in order to collect things there. So we're going to return there, get the message, and then I am going to do a sped-up run-through of each of the levels, getting all the stuff that I missed. So let's head into the Brain Tumbler, and let's make our way over to Mia's dance party.
Agent Vodello? Where are you?
Rasputin? I don't really know. I was on the dock and all of a sudden there was this thing. And then everything went black.
I believe you've been abducted, probably by Coach Oleander. He's trying to take over the world.
Oh, Maury. Well, if you find my body, give it a little shake, will you? In the meantime, you can shake it in here as much as you want.
Not much to do here except clean.
Alright, thank you for the offer, Agent Vodello. I think I'll take you up on it. Now, one thing to note about Mia's dance party, I believe I mentioned this last video, but certain sections of it will now be spitting out sensors, since it's no longer a designated training course for the children. So you do have to be mindful of that while collecting figments. But that is neither here nor there. We're going to return to Coach Oleander's mind, and we are going to get all the figments there, as well as the mental cobwebs we have yet to get. So, time for a collection montage. Alright, so dipping in with some post-commentary for this section of the video. As you can see, I have sped up the video considerably. I think it's about like between 3 and 4 times speed here, and already off to a great start as I got confused here, because when you smelling salts out of a level, the game actually remembers where you smelling salted from, and for a brief moment I considered like, alright, do I just want to go back to the start and teleport back to the start and do this in order? And it's like, nah, I'm already here. Let me get this cobweb, and then the only figments I had to get in the section level were on the rail segment, and of course, like an idiot, I jumped past one of them, so I had to kill myself to respawn and go for another passport. Fortunately, if you jump from the right spots, you can just levitate down onto the rails to get onto it faster. As you can see, that first time there, though, I kind of screwed that up. We do actually get a chance while I'm doing this to see what happens when you run out of astral layers, and it is super not interesting, which is why I don't really care that it's happening in a segment like this. But yeah, a lot of these figments that are a bit tough to get, like this one in the rolling log room, I just recklessly throw myself at them, and if I die, it's not a big deal. As you can see, I just step there. You get thrown out into the Brain Tumbler Experiment room, and then you can go back in, and you're literally just dropped off at the start of the area that you died in, so... The moving figments are definitely one of the biggest pains to collect in the game. As you can see, like, I have no choice but to wait around until it's in a position where I can even see the stupid thing, and then grab it once I'm able to. Now, the figments in basic braining, you can get all of them on your first go through of the level. It's just, we have to return with the mental cobweb duster anyway, so it's really not worth our time and effort to try and get all of them on the first playthrough. May as well just go for a quicker and more efficient clear of the level, and then we can come back for the ones that I skipped over, which wasn't too many. The first section has the most that I missed here. Most of them on this path that I'm taking right now towards the blimps to platform across. If you remember, in the initial clear of the level, we took the underground path, which also had some figments in it, so you do need to take both these paths eventually. As you can see, there's me falling like an idiot. So I decided to just be patient here and get the figments the intended way instead of jumping for them. Bunch of figments along the way here. Here you get to see me failing to get around this cannon with levitate for a little bit. I'm trying to do things in like a fast and efficient way, and I'm not always the greatest at it. Moving figments definitely proved to be the bane of my existence during this. A lot of them I just had to repeatedly jump in the area or wait in spaces I knew they were going to pass through in order to get them. Fortunately, we're not at the worst of it yet, and we already got all the ones, well, most of them in basic braining. Just one last one to grab here in the minefield, the minesweeper. We can go in, figments collected, we're good there. Next up is Sasha's shooting gallery. This one's really easy. The only reason we really didn't 100% this one the first time is because just a handful of figments can only be gotten with levitation, and of course we didn't have the cobweb duster at the time. If you're willing to do all the farming before you enter here, you can totally have the cobweb duster at this point in the game. It's not at all difficult to be a rank 10 before reaching this point, but I just didn't feel like doing the grinding before then, and I knew I was going to have to return for the figments for this level anyway, so once again, just not worth it. The figments we could not get are in this section with the little platters and like the cradle, I used to know the name for that. You know, the little things they put over the baby cradles. Oof. You know, you press play on it and it plays a little nursery song while it rotates around. Yeah, whatever, it's not a big deal. Anyways, the last of the figment, or not the figments, but the webs, are in the shoebox section, so I just need to head here to grab them. And the figments that I am missing, well, the figment at this point that I'm missing, is actually back in the bed section of the level. It was just in a spot I didn't think to check. So I do spend a bit of time just wandering around randomly in this level until eventually I just get back to the bed section and I realize that the figment I lost was there. I was so sure that the one that I was missing was in the overhead cradle display. But no, it's in here, and I bounce around for a little bit and keep looking, but it's kind of like in a little shoebox thing at the foot of the bed. Yeah, there, right there. And that is all the figments collected. Now we can move on to the part that I was dreading doing for this video, and it definitely contributed to the most time, Mia's dance party. Of course, the most infamous section of this level is the race, which, we'll get to that in a moment. There was only one figment I missed in this section of the level, and believe me, you really struggled to see this one. It was that little green thing against the green couch. It was like a potted plant display. I just wasn't able to see it when I was coming through the level the first time and didn't grab it. Fortunately, I was able to get it now quite easily. Now, the race. Good God, this is terrible. So, the race has figments strewn all about, requiring you to take, like, 4 different paths through the racetrack in order to get them all. Of course, you can take the overhead tubes, which all have figments in them. Then there are diverging paths on the main track that will lead to figments as well. Sometimes they will split off in opposite directions, so your only recourse is to just back up and go for them. As you can see, a lot of the time, I just completely hop off the levitation ball to just walk back and grab them. Trying to go up the track with the levitation ball is just really slow. Anytime you feel like you're going too fast and you can see figments coming up, and it is pretty tricky because they don't render in quite as quick as you'd like them to, you can just hop off the levitation ball and grab them when you're slowed down and walking. Fortunately, for the most part, all of these figments can be gotten no problem when you're moving slow. Like, as you can see, this one coming off the ramp, I'm just able to jump at the lip of the ramp to grab it. The third path we need to go through is, if you remember when we were racing Bobby Zilch, I passed by this little hole in the racetrack I was trying to go into, but I just bounced off it. As you can see, a bunch of figments in here, as well as a bunch of sensors that just get crushed by us running over them. One thing to note is you might have noticed is that there is a timer in the top left corner. This is kind of sort of like a little mini game here. You can race on Mia's track to see what your best time is. If you beat your best time, which we didn't have best time, so we just get moved on to the next section. Well, of course, you get moved on to the next section of the level, you just immediately have to teleport, you can go back to the start. If you fail to beat your best time, which I'm going to do, well, actually not here, because I get through this much faster, but if you fail to beat your best time, you're sent back to the start of the racetrack. So it is actually not a terrible idea to set a really good time to start off, and then just intentionally fail the race when you are going back through to try and collect figments, so you don't have to worry about getting these at, or rather, you don't have to worry about teleporting once you finish the race, just because you're going at such a turtle's pace to get through these. The tubes can definitely be pretty annoying, because it is unbelievably difficult to see the figments against the bright orange, and they're just barely visible due to their translucent looks. The ones at the ramps can also be pretty annoying, because you don't exactly vault off of them like I feel like they intended for you to, so you tend to miss them pretty frequently when going for them. And we're kind of at the undesirable section of the race here, where I've got one figment left to collect. I have no idea where it is. I'm debating looking up a guide, and I was like, I'll do one more try, and if I'm not finding it, then I'll look deeper in the guide. Thank you so much to the guy who wrote the guide. I still got it on my phone here, because that's what I was looking at while I was recording this video. Let's see, it was, Psychonauts on GameFAQs, who wrote the Figment Guide for this. Very comprehensive Figment Guide, super helpful for getting all these, so check that out if you're trying to 100% this game. One thing I was going to note about beating your own time here, this is not tied to a rank thing like the Whack-A-Mole mission in Coach Oleander's Basic Braining was, so it doesn't matter if you beat your time. And yeah, here's the part where I'm consulting the guide to see where the heck is this figment. And it's actually right by the end of the race. Where it was is that that ramp that I was vaulting off of to get through the little overhang that causes the doors in front of you to open up. It's actually just above that ramp. You can hardly see it when you're screaming through the level. I just had to slow down at the lip of the ramp to see where it is. I will admit, the guide's instructions aren't the most helpful, so it isn't exactly the easiest thing to do this in a fast level like the race. You can see why this is the level that usually keeps people from 100%ing this game, often making them just abandon the idea altogether. It's not fun at all. Not to say that it's hard, it's just very, very tedious and annoying. But yeah, this time I was able to see it, I went back and grabbed it. This is one of the first time I'm really making use of the Figment checklist. The Figment checklist is not as helpful as you'd expect, because it doesn't really give you a good idea of the relative position of the Figments, it just sorts them by points. It doesn't even really sort them by type in a way that really helps you figure out where the Figment you're missing could be. Anyways, this section of the level is arguably just as annoying as the previous section, but isn't quite as time-consuming to deal with. Basically, the fan room just has a ton of moving Figments, and it is an absolute pain to get these things because they have wonky hitboxes, you can barely see them through the bubbles, and Psychonauts has this annoying thing that some platformers do, where when you move the camera, it just automatically recenters it as soon as you let go of the analog stick, so it's impossible to lock into a position where you can better see. So a lot of times I'm just like looking for a spot like, okay, where is this thing passing through, and trying to get it so I can actually see when it's moving through. Took me a little bit to get the Figments by those fans, but ultimately it wasn't too terrible. I was just double-checking everything here to make sure I got all the Figments that I was looking for. Now we can move back to the party room, and there's a few more moving Figments on Mia's platform, as well as the one at the bottom floor that we missed that I remembered, so got that real quick. I actually stand around here for a little bit, just like, are there any more moving Figments? Moving Figments just make you paranoid sometimes, and the Figment that I'm looking for here is actually behind the platform. It's this little blue one that's in between those two flower stands. So I'm able to get that super easy, and the next Figment coming up after this one, here we go, grab it. It's pretty hard to see there, especially when the game's moving so fast, but the one that I'm about to try and get, I'm pretty sure I'm doing this wrong. So my method for getting this is jumping onto the door frame, and then I try to finagle my way over to the platform in the air that has the last Figment. As you can see, if you don't have the right amount of momentum when jumping off that platform, you're not going to make it with levitation. If anybody knows the correct way to get this Figment, don't hesitate to let me know. I am like 95% positive I'm doing this wrong, but that's where I'm going to cut out because the video recording resumes its normal speed just about here. Alright, with that taken care of, we have gotten all of the collectibles in every level available to this point in Psychonauts. Thank God. This level is brutal to 100%. Not hard, just incredibly tedious. But we have taken care of that. We can get back out into the Brain Tumbler Experiment room. And when we return, we can meet Lily back at the boat docks to see if we can't figure out what exactly is going on in the camp, see how Coach Oleander has so quickly taken control of the area, and maybe if we're lucky, find out what happened to the bodies of Sasha and Mia. Hope to see you then.